Y'all know what today is?
No.
You said, what's this?
Sabbath.
It's the Sabbath day. So if you know the Sabbath day, right? Give me Exodus 20 and 8. I'm gonna show you a law that you can keep now. That you can stop breaking today. And the white man will hate it. The devil will hate it. When I'm talking about the devil, I'm not talking about no cartoon character with a pitchfork and horns coming out of his damn head. I'm talking about the Caucasian.
Bring it
This
up.
is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Read this real quick.
The book of Exodus.
I like that too.
The book of Exodus.
Read.
Chapter 20 and verse 8.
Read.
Remember the Sabbath
What
day.
did the Lord say?
Remember the Sabbath day.
And do what?
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
That's a commandment all three of you can apply now. Start to remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. One of the ways you keep the Sabbath day holy is by not working, performing service.
I got a precept to holy too.
Go ahead, bring out holy. Let's see. No, matter of fact, I'm good on that.
All right.
Give me Nehemiah 10. One way you keep the Sabbath holy is by not working. Another way you keep the Sabbath holy is by not buying and selling. To go in that store and buy today is a sin. That's a transgression against the commandments of God.
Right.
And I'm going to show you the law. Nehemiah 10.
I learned something
The
else.
book of Nehemiah, chapter 10 and verse 31.
Read.
That's why.
And if the people of the land bear ware
If the people of the land bring ware and any what?
or any victual,
If the people of the land, like the people who own this store, if they decide to open up and sell you ware and victuals, ware and victuals is going into commodities, irregardless of what you think of the commodities.
So merchandise.
Chips, merchandise, that's even better. The ware and the victuals are going into merchandise. Read it again.
and if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day,
On what day?
on the Sabbath day,
The Sabbath day. On Sabbath
Saturday.
day being the seventh day of the week. Today, the seventh day of the week is called Saturday.
right?
So he said if your enemies bring ware or victuals or merchandise to sell to you on the seventh day of the week, which is the Sabbath day of God, read.
To sell
Uh-huh.
that we will not buy it of them
What the
on
Bible
the
say?
Sabbath day.
Read it again.
That we would not buy it of them
When?
on the Sabbath
We
day
don't buy and sell on the Sabbath day.
or the holy day.
Or on high holy days. That's a commandment from God. And guess what happens? Guess what's going to happen when Christ cracks the sky and everybody is defiling the Sabbath? Give me Exodus 31 and verse 14. Exodus 31 and verse 14.
The book of Exodus, chapter 31 and verse 14.
Read.
Ye shall keep the Sabbath therefore, for it is holy unto you.
Read.
Everyone that defileth it
Any man or woman that's caught buying and selling on the Sabbath, working on the Sabbath, read.
shall surely be put to
They
death.
shall surely what?
Shall surely be put to
The
death.
Bible says you are surely going to be put to death. Now, what people confuse, give me 2 Corinthians 6. The thing that people have confused is they look around and they say, but aren't we under grace? Don't we have grace? We do have grace. But my job when it comes down to grace is to tell you this. 2 Corinthians 6, start at 1.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 6 and verse 1.
Read.
When then, as workers, together with him,
Me and my brother, we are workers. We're workers of the Lord. Keep reading.
with him, beseech you also
Read it
that
again from the top.
we then,
Shalom, brethren.
as workers
We
together
then as workers together, read.
with him,
With the Lord, read.
beseech you also
Beseech you, brothers and sisters, read.
that ye receive not the grace of God in vain.
Don't take the grace of God in vain, yo. Don't treat the grace of God as if it's worth nothing. You know what the grace of God is, right? Give me Titus chapter 2. Let's see. What is grace according to the Bible? Let's find out. Titus 2 and 11, please.
The book of Titus, chapter 2, starting at verse 11.
Read.
For the grace of God
For the grace of God, read,
that bringeth salvation
Uh-huh.
have appeared to all men,
hath appeared to all Israelite men. Read.
teaching us
Teaching us what?
that denying ungodliness
This is what grace is. Grace is a moment in time in which you're supposed to learn. You're supposed to learn how to deny ungodliness. Keep reading.
and worldly
You're
lust,
supposed to learn how to deny worldly lust. Keep reading.
we should live soberly,
Titus 2, 11 and 12. Grace is to teach you how to live soberly. Read.
soberly, righteously,
Grace is to teach you how to live righteously. Read.
and godly
And godly. When?
in this present
No,
world.
we need to wait for the next world.
In this present world.
That's what grace is for. Grace is a time period for us to get our souls right. Grace is a time period for us to get our mind right. And the Bible said, don't take the grace of God in vain. Yo. Go to Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 26. Once again, the Bible says, do not take the grace of God in vain. And I'm going to show you why. Hebrews 10 and 26, and we're going to read down.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 10 and verse 26.
Read.
For if we sin willfully,
If we break God's laws willfully, like my sister, she learned that she's not supposed to dress like a man. But if she continues after today to break God's laws willfully or commit willful sin, read.
for if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth,
Y'all receiving the knowledge of the truth now, read.
there remain no more sacrifice for sins.
Christ didn't die for you. If you go back, if you keep sinning after you hear the knowledge of the truth, Christ did not die for you. He didn't lay down his life for you. He will not cover your sins. That's what the Bible just said, not me. Keep reading, please.
There remaineth no more sacrifice for sins, but a certain fearful looking for a judgment. For of judgment
Read.
and fiery indignation,
Read.
which shall devour the adversary. He that despised Moses' law died without mercy.
Those that despise Moses' law or broke the law under Moses, the Bible said they died without mercy. When you read the Bible, we stoned them to death. And we didn't pity them. We weren't sad when you started crying. When you started reaching up for help, nobody gave a damn. The Bible said what? Read that part again.
He that despised Moses' law died without mercy.
Keep reading.
Under 2 or 3 witnesses.
Under 2 or 3 witnesses, read.
Of how much sore punishment
How much more punishment, read?
suppose ye
Suppose you, read,
shall he
that he or she, read.
be thought worthy,
How much more punishment do you think you're going to get, read?
who hath trodden under foot the Son of God,
If you take the grace of God for vain. If you take the grace of God in vain, how much more punishment do you think you're going to get? You're going to get a lot more punishment. Remember, the punishment under Moses was being hit with rocks. The punishment with Christ is known as a lake of fire, in which is referred to as the second death.
bring it out,
Keep reading, priest.
worthy, who have trodden under the foot the Son of God,
Read.
and have counted the blood of the covenant, wherewith he was sanctified, and unholy things,
Read.
and have done despite unto the Spirit of grace.
They have done despite unto the spirit of what?
Of
He
grace.
said they have done despite unto the spirit of grace. Remember, the spirit of grace is supposed to teach us to deny ungodliness, right?
Right.
The spirit of grace is supposed to teach us to live soberly, right? Well, guess what? If you don't deny ungodliness, if you don't attempt to live soberly, the Bible says that you have trodden underfoot the Son of God. Go to Romans chapter 6. Romans chapter 6 and verse 1. My brother's in the hats. Y'all know y'all nationality?
African American.
African American. My brother over here with the other hat, the black and gold hat. What's your nationality? All praises. You don't have an answer? All praises. Read this first. I want to talk about that.
The book of Romans, chapter 6 and verse 1.
Read.
What shall we say then?
What shall we say then? Read.
Shall we continue in sin
Shall we continue to break God's laws? Keep reading.
that grace may abound?
Because we have grace. Keep reading.
God
The
forbid.
answer is hell no. Stop breaking God's laws. Even though this is a moment of time that we call grace, the Bible says stop breaking God's laws. Keep reading. Say what? Oh, say that one more time. Oh, yeah. I'm about to tell you that right now. All praises to the Most High. Finish that verse out.
Start from the top.
No, finish what you left off.
How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer
We
therein?
shouldn't be living any longer in our sins.